I started recording. Next one. This is number 7. We're taking off exactly where we left off last video. So the ratio, you remember they have to be paired up correctly. So I'm going to pair up 3 and x. If I do that, I have to pair up 3.5 with 9. Remember, you have to make sure you pair it up correctly. Then you're going to cross multiply. 3.5 equals 9 times 3, or 27. 3.5x equals 27. Divided by 3.5 on both sides. X equals 27 divided by 3.5.
Why is this window open? It's freezing.
Close it up.
All this ice on my neck, it's cold.
It's not with the ice. 7.71. So your answer is 7.71 in this case. Yeah. This one, a lot of people got messed up here. Remember, if I'm only looking for this piece right here, I need only this number right here. So it's not 88 or 16. I have to do 88 minus 16, or 72 for this piece. Yes, I know it's drawn horribly, but so. Yes. So the setup would be, you could do across to across, 16 to 25. Equals, if I did 16 on top, 72 will stay on top, over x. A little cross multiply. 16x equals 72 times 25. I'm sure everyone could do that in their head.
16x equals 72 over 5.
1,800. That divided by 16 on both sides.
Wait, 80, that'd be like 20.
No, it's definitely 100 something.
Like 240.
It's not 200.
40.
Divided by is it 16 or 16? 12. 112.5. Don't block anyone's view. No, it's an actual measurement, so it's 112.5. And remember, it's multiple choice, so okay.
There's no way
It's recorded. Get it later. This one, it doesn't matter how you do it. You could do 12 and 9 and 8 and x. Or you could do 12 and 8, 9 and x. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. I'll do 12 and 9. So 12 to 9 equals 8 to x. The angles are equal, so that forces them to be equal. So then 12 and 9, 8 and x, or that forces them to be similar, I should say. Proportional. So then over here, we're going to cross multiply. 12x equals 72. Divided by 12 on both sides. X equals 6. 7.71. Yes, all of these are just cross multiply. For most people, the tricky part was the how you cross multiply. What do you need from it? It was 6, the final answer. But I do want to keep going because I have a lot of tests to go for. I have to do a half a year of stuff, so that's why. All right, next one. Side, 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 angle, side, or angle, angle. This is similarity. So it'll be a multiple choice, so. So remember, if you have 3 sides that match, that's side, side, side. If you have an angle in between 2 sides that match, that's side, angle, side. And if it's just 2 angles, it's angle, angle. But sometimes it's not so clear, so let's make sure. For the first one, though, 12, 15, 18 should match 8, 10, and 12. So in this case, it's side, side, side. In this test, I did not have an option where there were none. But you must check on the actual final. So for example, you want to do 12 over 8, which reduces to 3 over 4, which reduces to 3 over 2. You want to do the middle one, so that's 15 and 10. So 15 over 10 reduces to 3 over 2. And then 18 and 12. 18 over 12 reduces to 3 over 2. If they don't reduce to the same thing, that means they're not similar. So on a multiple choice question, you'll have option A, side, 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 option B, side, angle, side, option C, angle, angle, and option D would be not similar. So you got to be not same, but proportional. There's another one that's the same. That's the next test. Yeah. That's a formula sheet. When I have the test created, then I'll make my formula sheet. I will release the formula sheet early so you know what exactly is on it.
Also, since we're reviewing, can I go sleep?
Yeah, chill. Yes, just be quiet if you sleep. Don't snore. All right.
Can I go to somewhere else? To the library or something?
No.
What?
So 72 over 8 reduces to 42, my bad. 42 reduces to 4 over 21. You can't simplify that anymore. And 79 over 13, that simplifies to... that's simplified. Wait, 13 goes in there? No, it doesn't. Okay, that doesn't even simplify. So this would be a no, not similar. If they were similar, though, by the shape of it, it would be a side angle side, though. This one, it's not obvious, but if this is 60 degrees, then and this is 90 degrees, this must be 30 degrees because you know all triangles add up to 180. Wait a second, I have 30 that matches with a 30 here. I have a 90 that matches a 90 here. So this must be an angle, angle. You only need 2 angles to match for an angle, angle. Because if 2 angles match, it automatically matches the third angle. Because it always adds up to 180, so you just leave the leftovers, okay? So this one was the formula sheet for the, I guess, this test. Let's continue. All right, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So in this case, c squared is always the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always across the right angle. So in this case, it's, yeah, because the next page is a formula sheet, which doesn't have questions, so I'm just going to the next thing. So 6 squared plus 8 squared equals x squared. I don't know what x squared is. So 36 plus 64 equals x squared. 100 equals x squared. Reminder, 100 is not your answer. You have to square root both sides, which means your answer is actually 10. Will I put 100, if this was a multiple choice question, would I put 100 as one of my options? Oh, yeah. So be prepared for that. Next one. Look it carefully. 5 is your hypotenuse. Some people mess that up on the test. So it's 3 squared plus x squared equals 5 squared. The 5 squared is going to be on the side of the equal sign, the right side of the equal sign, because that is the hypotenuse. 9 plus x squared equals 25. Subtract 9 on both sides. X squared equals 16. Remember, 16 is not your answer. Square root both sides. X equals 4. So if this was a multiple choice question, I would put 4 would be one of my options. 16 would be my other option. I would do it where if you messed up the positioning, like you put 3 and 5 on the same side, so that'd be 9 plus 25. I would put the square root of 34, and I would put normal 34. Okay? Because those are the most common mistakes, okay? So don't make...
You don't have those options. You have like the square root of 16, that would be really.
I would not do that because 4 is the square root of 16.
No, I know. I'm saying like if 4 wasn't on there.
Then I messed up the question because that's not the correct answer. I need to have a correct answer on the multiple choice. So, all right, next one. This one, this is the hypotenuse. So 13 should be by itself. So x squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. Before anyone asks, it doesn't matter if I put x squared first or second. So x squared plus 144 equals 169. Subtract 144 on both sides. X squared equals 25. X truly equals 5, though. Okay. Next one. Given sides of a triangle, tell if it's acute, obtuse, or right. Something is acute is that when you do a squared plus b squared, but the c squared is smaller than the other two. That's when it's acute. When it's exactly right, it equals. Kind of like Goldilocks. This is the perfect one, right? It equals. Well, obtuse, it's too big because a squared plus b squared, c squared is too big in that case. So c squared is the bigger one. And remember, c will always be the biggest number. So in this case, 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. 9 plus 16 equals 25. 25 equals 25. So that is a right triangle. So in the multiple choice, you'll have acute, right, obtuse, and not a triangle. I'll tell you that at the end, okay? Number 5, 5, 6, 7. Remember, whatever's the biggest is always going to be your C value. I think on this test I put them always in order, but so. So 25 plus 36 equals 49. Well, it doesn't equal, but you know what I mean. 25 plus 36 is 61. 61 is bigger than your 49. So it's acute. Five, 6, 10. 5 squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. What? Not equals, because they're not actually. 61749.
Right there.
That's greater than. That's greater than. That's greater than. All right. 5 squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. 25 plus 36 equals 100. 61 does not equal 100. The 61 is smaller than 100. In this case, your C value is bigger, so it's obtuse. This one, remember your C value is always the biggest. So I think on this test, people messed up by just putting it in order. 4 squared plus 5 squared should equal 7 squared. 16 plus 25 equals 49. 16 plus 25 is 41. 41 is smaller than 49. So in this case, 49 is bigger, which means this is obtuse. Next one. This was the tough thing. This is the, how do I explain it? It's the, what is it called? No, there's a name for it, but I can't remember right now. Whatever. So this one was that, you remember we said like side in side, middle, side, or I will say like little side, whole. Let's just go through it. So first off, it's going to be side, middle. The reason I know it's this version is because I have a middle value, which in this case is 6. Yeah, it's a leg. Oh, you kind of remember, yeah. So it's side over the middle, so x over 6 equals, since I'm here, now I go back down the middle to the other side. So it becomes 6 over 4. So it's side, the middle to the side. Side, middle to the side. Because you had to go back down the line, so the 6 gets double. Yeah, it gets counted twice. The middle ends up always getting counted twice in this case.
Side, middle, middle, side.
Mm-hmm. So after you set it up like this, though, it's just cross multiplication. 4x equals 36, divided by 4 on both sides, x equals 9. Next one, notice here, this is on the big side here, not on the middle part. When you do that, it's going to be short side. So it's going to be 4 over, or I think I said short over leg, usually. 4 over x. Then you got to go back down to x, and then the whole thing. That's what people messed up on. X over the whole thing, which is 9. Because 4 plus 5. Short side, side whole. So 9 times 4 is 36. 36 equals x squared. X times x is x squared. So remember, you got to square root it though. So 6 equals x. Since x is in the middle, this is going to be a side, middle, middle, side situation. So side, middle, middle, side. So it's side, middle equals middle, side. Eight times 18. 144 equals x squared. Square root both sides. Remember, 144 is not your actual answer. It is 12. All right, special right triangles. It was on an earlier page. I guess you can't really rip it out because it's all stapled together like this. But for this one, remember you have the 45, 45, 90, which is a root 2. And you have the 30, 60, 90.
Is that for all of those?
It's always for these special right triangles, yes.
Like these 4 examples?
Yes. Or there's 2 versions of these 4 examples, I guess you could say. So across a 30 is A, the hypotenuse is 2A, and across 60 is A root 3. So it's based off what you're across, okay? Just as a reminder. So since I know 45, 45, 90s are A root 3, this is A, this is A, this is A root 3. In this case, what's my A value? It's just 6. So it means this A value is also just 6. And this A value is just 6 in front of a root 3. Once I fill that in, all I have to point out, AB, which is this line here, is 6 root 3. Oh, A root 2, my fault. Thank you. Root 2, root 2, root 2. So 6 root 2. And in BC, it's just this A value, which is just 6. This is solved. No. And remember, it's multiple choice, so it wouldn't make sense. So you can understand what my 4 multiple choice would be. It would probably be an A value, an A root 2, the A root 3, and then the 2A. Because those are like the 4 things that could happen. All right. In this case, let's plug it in. This is 2A because it's the hypotenuse. Across 30 is your A value. And across, this has to be 60 degrees because there's nothing left over. So this will be A root 3. In this case, 16 equals 2A. Which means if I've divided by 2 on both sides, what would my A equal? 8, because I would cut it in half. So this is 8, because that's A. And this is just 8 root 3. And after you plug it in, it's pretty straightforward. AC, which is this part here, that's 8 root 3. And then BC, which is this part here, it's just 8.
Wait, you do 8 square root 3?
Yep.
Why is it square root 3?
That's just how it is in the special triangle. I could explain it, but I don't think you care that much.
No, I thought it was 2.
Oh, no. All right. The next one is a little rotated, but we should be able to handle it. Remember, across the 45s are A's. Now let me use a different color. Across the hypotenuse, or the 45s are A's. And across the hypotenuse is A root 2. In this situation, it should be obvious. Wait a second, 10 root 2, A root 2. What is A? Just 10. It's just the 10 in front. So this should be 10, and this should be 10. So AC is 10, and BC is 10. Okay, in this situation, across the 30 is always A. Across the 60, this must be 60 because that's a leftover, is A root 3. And across the 90 is 2A. So in this case, A is just 7, which means A root 3 is 7 root 3. And across the hypotenuse is 2 times 7, or 14. It's just 7 right here. So AB, which is the hypotenuse in this case, 14. And BC, which is across the 60, 7 root 3. Straightforward. You will definitely get this, the special formula triangle on the test, so don't sweat that. All right, next one. Yeah, we keep going. There we go. Another formula. Find the sum of all the interior angles of the given polygon. This is the formula. Remember, n is the number of sides. Sometimes also the number of angles, but they're always the same number. If you have 10 sides, you have 10 angles. And this is the sum, or the total, of the sides. So aka like 180 or something. Or total of, not side technically, I'm sorry, oops. Sum of angles. My fault. Okay. First off is an octagon. How many sides does the octagon have? 8. Think of an octopus for an octagon. Hexagon is 6. So octagon is 8. So I know it's 8 sides. So I'm going to do 180 times 8 minus 2 equals my answer. I'll do 8 minus 2 first. 180 times 6. 180 times 6. 600 plus 480. 1080. Anything above 10, I don't expect you to know. So a 14-agon, which is a 14-sided one. So 180 times 14 minus 2. 180 times 12. 1,800 plus 360. 160 or 2060? Yeah, you got to carry one over. 160. All right. Find the interior angle of a regular polygon. So a regular polygon means all the sides are equal. So in this situation, I know that if, let's say, the octagon, I know the total is 180. If I were to split that into 8 separate pieces, each angle should be the same. So let's say for a hexagon, I want to find what the total of a hexagon is, which is 180 times 6 minus 2, or 180 times 4, and that gives me 720. So the total angles add up to 720, but if there's 6 angles in the shape, how much does each angle have? So I'm just going to do 720 divided by 6. So each angle's 120. Reminder, if this is a multiple choice, you better be sure one of the answers is going to be 720. And I'm going to have one of my fake answers. The other fake answer is going to be 6. because somebody's going to panic and be like, oh, there's a six-sided shape. That's
Wait,
it.
720 is the angle?
No, 720 is all the angles added up. Kind of like, you know how a square it adds up to 360, but each angle's 90. All right. Well, oh, in a triangle, each triangle is 180, but if you had them all equal, it'd be 60 each. All right, 12gon, or a dodecagon. You don't need to know that. 12 minus 2, 180 times 10, easy, 1,800. Remember, I'm not looking for how much it is in total. I'm figuring out how much each one has. 1,800 divided by 12 sides. 150, yeah. 150. Yeah, that's right. It's 12 and then 60, yeah. Okay, so this one's the reverse question you were thinking about. Where how many sides does the polygon have given that I know it adds up to 900 degrees? For example, if I knew it added up to 180 degrees, that would tell me that's a triangle.
So you just plug it into n?
To the, not the n, I'm going to figure out the n because I'm going to plug it into my answer, the s in this case. So 900. What I find easier to do is divide 180 on both sides first. The reason is you're going to have to distribute 180 and then you have to deal with more big numbers, which is annoying. That means you just get n minus 2 equals, in this case, this is 900 divided by 180, or 5. And then plus 2 on both sides. N equals 7. So there's a 7-sided shape, or a heptagon. I probably would just say 7 on the... Yeah, I will say 7 on the multiple choice. I want to say heptagon. Oh. It will just say 7 because the question is how many sides does it have, not what type of polygon it has. So the proper answer would technically be 7 in that case. All right, 1980 divided by, oh, I'm sorry, that's not correct. 180 times n minus 2 equals 1980. Then divided by 180. Obviously, that's 11. Yeah. Plus 2, 13. If I'm making a multiple choice question out of this, one of my fake answers is definitely going to be just 11. Some people were going to forget at the plus 2, okay? And then one of my fake answers would be 9 because somebody will minus 2 on both sides. Next one, find the value for x. So, first off, we know this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided or six-angled shape. This is technically a hexagon. Not technically, it is a hexagon. So, we know all these angles should add up to something. So, x plus 90, because that's a 90, plus 155, plus 112, plus 120, plus 140, it should add up to something. But we could figure out what it adds up to with the formula from the previous page. 180 minus, or times 6 minus 2, because it's 6-sided. So 180 times 4, or it's going to add up to 720. We know it should add up to 720. Best thing to do is just add all these pieces together. So x plus, I'll pull a calculator for that. Let me put it here. 90 plus 155 plus 112 plus 120 plus 140. 617 equals 720. And then as I just subtract 617 on both sides. So x equals 103. For our next one, these are exterior angles, aka angles on the outside. If it has 4 sides, 5 sides, a billion sides, it does not matter. Exterior angles always equal. Does anyone remember?
Inner angle?
No.
No.
It doesn't matter what side, how many sides there are. So it's just a number.
360?
Always equals 360.
Alright.
You can think of it as that. You know how we do n minus 2
Mm-hmm.
or 180 n minus 2? Well, two of them is 360. That 360 is technically on the outside. Could I explain that? Probably no, but that's how I always think about it. So we combine all these things together. A plus, I always like combining all the numbers first before I subtract it over. 102 plus 73 plus 67 plus 88. 330 equals 360. Subtract on both sides. Sure. A equals 30. This one, this is a parallelogram. A couple of things about parallelograms. First, opposite sides should be equal, which is not useful in this case. But diagonal angles of a parallelogram are congruent, while adjacent angles to a parallelogram are what we call supplementary. So this question mark, compared to 70, is adjacent to each other, which means they're supplementary. Supplementary means they add up to 180. So 70 plus x equals 180, minus 70 on both sides. X equals 110. Remember, adjacent angles are going to be supplementary, and diagonal angles are congruent. So don't doubt, if it was a multiple choice, 110 would be the correct answer. I'll put a 70 there. I'll probably put a 360, and I don't know what else I'll put. And I'll probably just put 180. Like this one, these are diagonal to each other. Because they're diagonal to each other, they're congruent, which means angle L is just 98. Find x. 2x plus 1 equals 23. Because they're opposite sides of each other in a parallelogram, they must be equal. So 23 equals 2x plus 1. Subtract 1 on both sides. 22 equals 2x. Divided by 2 on both sides. X equals 11. In this one, in a parallelogram, these are always bisected, and these are always bisected, aka cut in half. So if RT is 19.8, so this part right here is only 19.8. If I want RP, which is the whole line, it's going to be doubled. Because if that part is half, the other one is also 19.8. So I'm going to do 2 times 19.8. Which is going to be, thank you, 39.6. Trapezoids, isosceles trapezoids, a little bit different to parallelograms. If they're on the same, we'll call it level, or the same base, they're going to be equal to each other. While if they're on different bases, or different levels, they're going to be supplementary. In this case, these are on the same level. So this one will be 110. Yeah. If you wanted this one, this would be down here 70. And this would be 70.
How do you know it's 70?
180 minus 110. They're supplementary. If they're on the same floor in a trapezoid, if they're on the same floor, they're congruent,
What if they're on the opposite?
then they're supplementary.
Oh.
Are you talking like here? That's still supplementary. They're on different floors, so whether you're on different floors over here or different floors above each other. All right. Let's get this page done before the bell. This one, the mid segments right here, I know, is going to be the average of the two parts. So if this is 14 and this is 32, I do 14 plus 32 divided by 2. 14 plus 32 is 46 divided by 2, or 23. It is the average of the two heights, or the average of two lengths by default. And I won't have enough minutes to describe a kite, so I'm going to end it here, okay?